Hello, and welcome back to another If Ministries video. Today, we are going to be going over 3 different live streaming platforms and all the pros and cons to each to see which one would fit your church or organization best to do a live stream. The first platform that we are going to look at is OBS, which is a platform that has a lot of different features to it. Some features that you actually can't see from the first look at it, but you're able to see if you dig in deep enough. Once you download OBS and open it up for the first time, it will look something like this. There is a lot of things that OBS has to offer, but basically the lowdown of OBS is that you have your scenes, then behind here you'll have your sources, then you have your audio mixer, your scene transitions, and your controls. The scenes are basically the different things that will be showing up on your screen in one category. So like if you want to show the camera that is pointing to the pastor, but you also want to show what is on the projectors on the screens while it's showing the pastor, you would put both the pastor camera as well as the projector screens into one scene, and you would put both of the camera and the projector screen into the sources. So you would have one scene with 2 sources. That is why there's 2 different categories. So that again, if you want to have maybe a scene that is showing the worship pastor with a drum camera or something like that, then you could maybe have a scene titled worship band, and then in your sources have one camera be the worship pastor and the other camera be the drummer. And again, it's almost like scenes are like folders. Scenes are each individual folder that has everything you need to be able to show what you want to show for those specific scenes. And then you have your audio mixer. This is where all of your sound will be controlled, whether it be your volume or the settings or mute or unmute, whatever you need to do with your volume, that is all in the audio mixer. And depending on what scene you are on, it knows what audios are available for those specific scenes. So again, going back to my examples, if you have the pastor preaching and you are showing the screen of his verse that he's showing or something like that, then the only thing that will be on the audio mixer is the pastor's microphone. That is the only thing that will be on this scene. Or if you have the worship band up and you are wanting to show the worship pastor and the drummer, then you would go to that scene and you would have the worship pastor's mic and the drummer's mics all into the audio mixer. Depending on what scene you are on is what shows up in the audio mixer. Then you have your scene transitions, which is basically what happens in between you transitioning screens. So if you go from the pastor's camera to the drummer's camera, you would have something happen in between, maybe a fade. You could fade from the pastor's camera to the drumming camera. And this is where you do all of that. You select the fade scene transition, and it's a drop down menu. So there are multiple different scene transitions that OBS actually offers you for free, or you can use this plus button right here to add your own scene transition that you might have created. And this duration on the bottom is basically just telling OBS, hey, when I activate my scene transition, this is how long you have to wait until you actually change the scene in the background. So OBS does not know how long your scene transition is. You actually have to tell it, hey, when I activate my scene transition, wait this long before you change the actual scene, and then it will change the scene for you. And then, of course, you have your controls on the very right side with your start streaming, start recording, your studio mode, your settings, and your exit. The studio mode is basically kind of a queuing mode. So what you can do is, if you have studio mode turned on, one side of your screen will be what the live stream sees. The other side of the screen can be where, okay, if you want to do your transition, if you want to transition from the pastor's camera to the drumming camera, you would have the pastor's camera on the left side where it is live, and then you would select the drummer's camera, and the drummer's camera will show up over here, but is not actually live until you hit a button in the middle that makes the drumming camera get cued in to the live stream. This is a little look into the settings of OBS. This is the output settings, so this goes into just your computer settings and all the different stuff that you would need to be able to stream or record your service or event. You also have general settings, which goes into your settings of OBS. You have your stream setting, which we will get into a little more in just a few seconds. Your output setting, your audio setting, which goes into all the different audios that you have in your OBS, so you can mess with those, change the volume, maybe change some certain aspects of the audio. You have your video settings like the dimensions and a lot of different video types of things that you can mess around with. Your hotkeys, which is also kind of a queuing method. So if rather than having to click on the different scenes, you can say, okay, the drumming scene is my F4 button, or the pastor scene is my F6 button, and you can just hit F4, F6, and that will change your scenes for you without you having to come over here and clicking on all of your scenes. And then the advanced, again, is kind of another OBS setting. It just is a more in-depth OBS setting that really I have not had to mess with too much. So yeah, that's an in-depth look into OBS, the platform when you first open it, and then when you get into your settings. And then this is the streaming area of your OBS platform. You can select any service that has streaming capabilities, such as Twitch, YouTube, a lot of different platforms. Or if you have a specific link that you want to use to stream your live stream, so maybe you want to put your live stream on your church website, that is where this RTMP link comes in, because you can use something like that to be able to live stream or to put your live stream on your website. And then obviously if you don't want to stream it on your website, but you want to stream it on other platforms, YouTube, Twitch, something like that, this drop down up here with service is where you'll see all of those. Next up is XSplit. XSplit is a lot like OBS. The only thing that's different with OBS and XSplit is the fact that you do not have docks, which is basically a feature where you can put certain things from your live streaming platform onto OBS. So going back to OBS, you can put your Twitch chat on your OBS without having the Twitch chat tab of Google Chrome or Safari or Internet Explorer, whatever you use. You instead of having the Twitch chat open on a whole new tab, you can actually put your Twitch chat into OBS. XSplit, unfortunately, does not have that kind of feature. So XSplit is limited, at least compared to OBS, but it does have a lot of cool features. One of the things that I like about XSplit is the fact that it made the volume knobs actually smaller. So rather than taking up a gigantic part of the screen, the volume knobs are just these tiny little things down here that you can mess with. And that's one thing that I really love about XSplit. Again, here are your scenes, here is your transition, and then here's all your settings up here. Again, OBS has like the setting button and the go live buttons up over here with OBS, but with XSplit, your settings and your go live buttons are actually up here at the top of your screen, at the top of your XSplit. This is the settings of your XSplit, at least the streaming settings of your XSplit. XSplit kind of does it a little differently than OBS, so rather than having to put in just certain codes, so like with Twitch and OBS, you have to put in your stream key to be able to tell OBS, hey, I'm streaming on Twitch, this is my stream key, stream off of that. But with this with XSplit, what they do is they say, okay, put your Twitch name, your YouTube name, put a description, put your RTMP link if you have one, put your stream name, a share link. It has a lot of different settings all in this one area, and while it might look more complex, it actually kind of helps out, especially with the name and the description, because instead of you having to go into YouTube or go into Twitch and change your description and your name and then going into OBS and putting in your stream key to live stream, you can actually do all of that straight from XSplit. You can put in the name of your stream, the description of your stream, then you can put in your stream name, like your YouTube name or your Twitch name. And then lastly is a program called Wirecast. Wirecast is basically a more complex version of both XSplit and OBS. The difference is Wirecast actually kind of wants you to use what OBS would call the studio feature. So that's why you have two screens here. That is the OBS studio feature, where you can see what is live on your stream and then what you are queuing onto your stream. Also, with OBS, you can have certain scenes that have cameras on them, but with this program, you can actually see every single one of the cameras live without actually having the camera live on the live stream. So like if you have someone on a Skype call waiting to be shown to the church or shown to the live stream, you can watch that person on the Skype call while the live stream is going on without them being on the live stream. With places like OBS and XSplit, you cannot see the person on that call until you go to the scene that they're on. But with Wirecast, you can continuously see the person on the Skype call or on some type of video call while you're showing something else on the live stream. So that is a perk to Wirecast, and the fact that you can see all of these scenes without having to click on all of them is amazing. It is a really good platform, and it is really good for churches and organizations that would want to use a platform like this. Anyways, that is the three different platforms that I would recommend you look through and look around with and mess with for your church or organization. There is a live streaming platform out there for you. It is not all three of them. There are certain price differences between all three of them. OBS is free 100%, but Wirecast and XSplit you actually have to pay some money. XSplit you only pay once. Wirecast though you have to pay a subscription. So just keep that in mind when you think about the platforms that you are going to be using or you want to use for your church or organization. But those are the three platforms I would recommend. Go mess around, have fun with them, and I hope to see you in the next video.